great. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to them sharing. I wanted after that to sort of ask a question to both Lee Bratcher and to Jeff Peel about what you think the US and the UK could do on maybe on trade agreements or on a more diplomatic or political level to increase the awareness and understanding of blockchain and DLT and the relationship.
And then Mark, you're after they answer, then you're next, Mark. Go ahead, Jeffrey and Lee.
But just on the trade agreements, obviously there's a number of things that can be looked at in terms of the, if you like, the digital strand of the negotiation of the trade agreement. Like one area that UK government is looking very closely at, for example, as it pertains to blockchain, is the availability and supply chain of critical minerals. So we have a team within DIT that is looking at the whole area of digital diplomacy. So for example, working with standards bodies that are defining the supply chain platforms that will be emerging from some of these standards bodies, such as the International Standards Organization in Geneva. So we have a digital diplomacy team in Geneva, and obviously the US, the UK, Australia, other markets where it's absolutely critical that we maintain critical supply, that we open up the discussions relating to the free trade agreements to discuss such issues where critical minerals such as lithium or minerals that are required to make battery technologies that are perhaps very biased towards certain markets where the minerals are mined and then manufactured into component technologies such as China. And this is particularly the case with rare earth elements, that we have to look at some of the enabling technologies that are becoming available and getting involved in some of those standards bodies and applying some technologies to that area. Now, that's just one example of one of the focus areas that's beginning to emerge where blockchain technologies can have a role to play. But obviously, in terms of CBDCs as well, we are actively discussing the opportunities for developing, for example, a joint sterling dollar CBDC architecture as part of the negotiations. And I'm working very closely with my colleagues at Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs to look at some of those technologies that might be adopted so that we have a competitive offer to some of the other CBDC offers that are being developed, for example, by China. So this is a definite area of a growing area for international diplomacy, but distributed ledger technologies and blockchain have a key role to play.
Hey, Lee, when you
go ahead.
Your question, can you also talk a little bit about energy, because Texas is big in the energy space, and clearly, if we look at what's going on globally, diplomatically, energy is a key component. So if you could add that to your response.
Sure. First, I'd like to kind of draw attention to how well the European Commission, the European Union has handled this, and UK obviously being a big part of that, and I'm sure will continue to be a big part of that moving forward, regardless of what happens there. The INATBA, the International Association of Trusted Blockchain Entities, it's the European Commission sponsored entity called INATBA, is doing some interesting work. They've got working groups and sub-working groups on all kinds of different, from standards to real estate. I think, the US has the Congressional Blockchain Caucus. It's a bipartisan group of legislators that are open to this. There's staffers there at the Blockchain Caucus that would be all ears on partnerships with the UK on the fronts that Jeffrey mentioned, especially rare earth minerals and CBDCs. In regards to energy, there are, I think, energy arbitrage opportunities in Texas, and then also I could foresee that spanning in trade deals and globally, where cheap energy prices in some places, and this is particularly pertaining to crypto, but if you have energy Bitcoin mining going on in Texas, where you get 2-cent kilowatt hour power, which is far below the industry average for power prices, you have places that are able to not only take a larger share of Bitcoin mining globally, which the U.S. is starting to recover from being at a low point of our share of mining. We're starting to move in a positive direction. I could see that those energy arbitrage opportunities extending to trade agreements with allies like the United Kingdom, where there's opportunities and advantages for involvement from anything from investors to companies that have capital and assets located in the U.S. to take advantage of some of those arbitrage opportunities, where they're able to sell power back at peak demand and use max power at low demand, so that there's a stabilization in the energy grid. And Texas is a deregulated energy market, so there's potentially attractive opportunities for companies in the UK that have physical capital and physical assets, physical plant located in Texas and the US. Is that what you were referring to on the energy front, Gerard?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.